Hey there, Rumble viewers. Thanks for watching here on Rumble while we're right now not available on the YouTube. I don't know when that's going to change, but hit that Rumble button. Enjoy the show. We have Rudy Giuliani on the show here, and of course, consider joining Mug Club. Look at that's a highlighter, and I don't know where that's been, and I just put it in my mouth. Lowder with Crowder is brought to you in part by .com. Support the fight. Go buy some merchandise at the shop. It's a great conversation starter and irritates all the right people. .com. That was a horrible slurp because it was really hot. Oh, and I only realized it once I brought the cup up to my mouth. I was like, how am I going to figure this out?
You're just in
Poorly.
Sacrifice.
That's how we started. I'm just going to let you guys know. I haven't slept in like 2 days, which sometimes these are the best shows, but not always is Rudy Giuliani on those shows. And he's
that's true.
Fun, but crazy.
A little bit.
In a good way.
In a crazy good.
Yeah, in a mostly good way. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit of an echo here.
You perform better when you're stressed.
Yes.
Even.
So Gerald is here. Hey, look who's back. Quarterback.
Oh,
I'm back. What's up?
Yeah.
Back to my hood, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't at all.
Thank God we're not on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'd be off already.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Man claims to be black.
You see, they went after Landau for saying that Don Lemon dresses like a pedophile, which he does.
I mean,
Did they go after me?
Yeah, they said it was racist.
On what? What?
Only black people are pedophiles? Is that what they're trying to say?
It's just so silly.
What? Who did?
The folks who think they matter in the media.
I love that they put it in print.
Well, Dave, actually, that was me. I actually fed them the story.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
In no way is that racist.
By the way, we have Dave Landau here. You have a show coming up next week.
Ahoy hoy. Yes, I do. I'll be at the Edison Improv, but that is sold out.
Sold out.
And
Boom.
The
you don't have to
Houston
brag.
Improv.
So Houston is not sold out.
Houston is, we got some tickets left in Houston next. I believe it's the 2nd.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So, very nice. Well, we'll have it up on the site. And by the way, next
not
week at some point, we're going to be back on the YouTube. I don't know exactly. My guess is Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
After Memorial
So I will
Day.
let you guys know. But everyone watching on Rumble, thank you very much. Smash that Rumble button as you're watching there. And of course, you can join Mug Club. You get an extra 45 minutes today with Rudy Giuliani. I know we switched some stuff around. I'm getting a little bit of weird sound stuff there, Tim. All the other mics are turned off, right? Because we pre-taped the Nash Wednesday yesterday with a large black gentleman.
Look, just to be clear, I said...
I'm right here, okay.
Just not to stay on it, to be clear, I said that Don Lemon's casual wear is that of a pedophile.
Yeah.
Well, the casual wear,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't say all the time.
That's who he's wearing.
Okay.
Don Lemon, who are you wearing? I am wearing Brooks Pedophile.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey designed outfits.
Actually, it's Brooks Pedophile Kids, so I need to...
I don't think they were worried about how many times he wore it, Dave. I don't think that was the problem.
I don't think frequency was the issue. So, speaking of frequency, we're going to be talking today, because I touched on this yesterday, and people said, hey, you know what? We'd like you to talk about this more. The undue influence of China, not only in our media, not only in our entertainment industry, but of course in politics. But the most important is cultural, the cultural influence. John Cena sort of set off a firestorm. A lot of people don't realize our #1 export here in the United States is not oil, it's not raw materials, it's pop culture.
Yeah.
It has been for a long time. And that's being really sort of subverted for international communist interests.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear. We don't share the same values as China. And we have pretty much everyone with a platform, meaning everyone with a mainstream show, everyone in film, television, right? They all have an incentive right now to pander to communists.
Yeah, and when I think about some of the stuff we've sent over, I understand why Muslims want to kill us sometimes.
It's not the top tier stuff.
Listen, WAP, that's our bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's
not great.
Yes.
And by the way, if we're talking about, when we talk about the Israeli Hamas, I don't want to say Israeli-Palestine, it's Israel-Hamas, okay? They were elected, they're in control, they're terrorists, they hate the Jews. It's Israel-Hamas. It's two governments at war. Yeah. We talk about that and the mistreatment of Muslims. What about the Uyghurs? I mean, it's one of those things that no one talks about. There's actual genocide going on, actual forced labor. And something that's interesting about that, we'll talk about it more.
Someone's killing ICP fans?
Right. This is something, by the way, I actually happened to be in Reno when there was the Juggalo Fest.
I don't mind the jugs. They're
Well,
nice
I
people.
absolutely despise them, and I respect you less for saying that.
Well, I don't care. I think they're
But let me go on with the Uyghurs here. What matters with the Uyghurs is, now I forgot my point because
sorry.
Let's not do this right now.
No,
off the bat.
Uyghurs. Go back to Uyghurs.
I don't remember. I remember Uyghurs. I don't remember anything else about it.
Well, that's an actual genocide going on right now. And
you said there's a
everybody's just
genocide.
bound-
Oh, this is important to note, too. China, and obviously the mistreatment of Uyghurs should be condemned, and we should kick China's ass. But it does tell you something that people in the West, and certainly liberals, don't understand, that the reason that China has a problem with Muslims there is because they do see the threat of Islam as a political prescription. Now, obviously, it's wrong. No one should be persecuted for their faith. That's why we have the First Amendment here in the United States. However, in a communist authoritarian government, which is what you have in China, they snuff out any other political ideology, just like they would capitalism, just like they would any kind of republicanism.
Christians.
Well, no, Christians more so for religion. They treat Islam significantly differently than they treat Christians, and that's because they see it as trying to subvert the political system. They will address Sharia law. They're wrong in the way they address it, but when you just look at, you cross your T's, you dot your I's, and you go, oh, okay, they see it as a political faction, not as a religious group.
Well, they understand what's going on in places like Germany and England right now, where they're setting up their own kind of court systems and autonomous zones of people. We've seen those in this country. Autonomous zones suck. So
yeah, they don't really work that well.
Not so much.
They're usually not autonomous.
No.
They're usually like,
Not
hey,
for very
we need
long.
stuff.
5 days in.
Yeah, they change it to chop once they close Starbucks.
CNN right now is covering the shooting. But we don't need to look. Obviously, our hearts break for the people who were involved. Thoughts and prayers go out, and they'll start politicizing the event before the bodies are cold. But still, no mention of the shooting that took place at the George Floyd Autonomous Zone. All right.
Is that
So
John
let's
Candy
move on here.
on
Father's Day is coming up, which means, of course, we're going to be celebrating dads everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can go to crowdershop.com, get yourself some Father's Day merch, like Best Dad Ever, Changed My Mind. We'll be celebrating a lot of dads, but some will not be celebrated.
I have something you need. I've got what you want. Let the rest stand in line. I'll get you to the front. I'm your vaccine daddy. I've got the connections to get you your injections. I'm gonna treat all your troubles. And hey, my doses are doubles. No more nights of isolation. You're gonna dig my big inoculation.
Now, it's not just that he is offensive.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's, yes.
Yeah.
It's what, as Dave Landau would say, Dave Rubin would say, there's a lot to unpack here. It's that everyone involved there.
Weird slip.
Right? That's what he calls it. You see all the women there. You know how you see multiple camera angles.
Yeah.
Lighting, set.
Yeah.
So I'm going, there's at least 15 people involved in that production crew. And not one of them had the empathy for that man on camera to say,
Now that's a commercial for Olive Garden?
yes, exactly.
And by the way, the sexual under my big inoculation.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets worse.
there's more.
I give you a double dose. He's shopping at Don Lemon Rack.
Yeah.
It goes on for like another minute or two
Yeah,
with more of that.
gosh.
I don't want to see it.
Horrific.
No.
All right, really quickly, while we're talking about there we go. Sheriffs are talking about 2 semi-automatic weapons, 11 magazines. We're going to get to the ATF in a little bit. Yeah, semi-automatic. For people who don't know, who don't own firearms, this is why I encourage everyone out there, just go buy a rudimentary firearm. All handguns are semi-automatic handguns, pretty much outside of revolvers, and pretty much all rifles, shotguns outside of pump or lever actions. Most firearms are semi-automatic. And if not, actually, by definition, in practice, and they still are covered under a lot of this legislation anyways. So this, when they say semi-automatic, is to try and get people to think machine guns. No. What they want you to do is give up your rights to all firearms. And I'm not just saying that. We'll get to the clips of the new gentleman at the ATF, handpicked by Biden, who, by the way, was there in the Waco debacle.
Oh, geez.
So look, nothing like picking the cream of the crop.
The finest.
Prestigious career.
When we talked about the swamp, we could not have foreseen someone from the Waco, the horror of Waco being in charge of the ATF.
The swamp got swampier. I don't know.
Yeah, it's post the Netflix movie or whatever it was that came out about it. It's like, oh.
It actually wasn't bad.
Yikes.
So just to hit this really quickly, according to the New York Times, Biden's first budget now, the proposal is a call for $6 trillion to be spent by 2022 and $8.2 trillion to be spent annually by 2031.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
That's a
For
little bit.
what? I have a bunch of info here on deficits and what you guys don't really. You know it sucks, right? Is that enough? You know there's no way to balance that sheet. Like at a certain point, don't we just acknowledge, okay, we're in the red, can I move on?
When 15 to 25% of that spending is deficit spending every single year.
Thank you for
Come
polishing
on.
it off.
I got you.
Can we spend some of it on stopping vaccine daddy?
Also, who's going to be
At least this
president?
double dose?
Yeah. Something.
Who's going to be president in 2031? Is it going to be Biden?
Kamala.
Probably not going to be former Vice President Joe Biden.
It's going to be his corpse with just some duct tape and
Yeah.
string.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean,
by the way,
you mean exactly like now?
Yes. Stephen, he puts this out amidst a big call that Arizona's wasting money on their audit when they're spending $1 million.
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't fit that into $6
Come
trillion.
on. 1 million, 6 trillion. At that point,
I'm bad
come on,
at math,
let's not split hairs.
When our money's a printing press based on no actual backing, it's fine.
This is one thing no one. Let me ask you this, and I know. Look, we're kind of meandering around here a little bit. This is one thing that no one else ever asks. Okay, if we're just going to print a few more $1 trillion,
Right?
why increase taxes at all? You clearly don't care. The idea that one would need to increase taxes is because, well, we need to balance the budget somehow. We need to have, which then we can get into the economic arguments and Hauser's law and the Laffer curve and how you increase taxes. There still ends up being about 16, 17% of GDP tax revenue, no matter what you do. But let's not even get there. Why increase taxes? You just print it. Just make more. It only would matter. Republicans would be the only ones who should be talking tax policy. Democrats don't care. We have the worst inflation that we've had, I believe it. Is it 30 years? I don't have the numbers in front of me. 30, 40? Could be since Biden was born or trying to avoid his children being in a racial jungle as he voted.
It was since the early 1980s, I believe, and they're not worried about inflation right now. They've got it well under control.
Yeah.
They just tell you what to do.
$6 trillion is not a mundane detail, Michael.
You don't have to think about it.
No, you don't have to think about it.
Tell us what to do. You don't have to think about it, dude.
Thanks, Ethan. All right.
That's how famous that guy will ever be is saying something
exactly,
stupid.
yeah.
So the new ATF director, his name is David Chipman. And we're going to go to a quick montage here yesterday where he was being questioned.
Yeah.
He supports a ban on AR-15s, but he couldn't even define, to be clear, and I encourage you to go watch the entire clip. It's long and it's very repetitive. He couldn't even define what an assault weapon is, but, believe your lion eyes.
Your public position is that you want to ban AR-15s. Is that correct?
With respect to the
Nosferatu.
AR-15, I support a ban.
I want to turn to a second matter now, Mr. Chipman. You have called for an assault weapons ban. I have a simple question for you. What is an assault weapon?
Senator, an assault weapon would be, in the context of the question you asked, what Congress defines it as.
What? So you're asking us to ban assault weapons. We have to write legislation. Can you tell me what is an assault weapon? If I wanted to buy an assault weapon, and I walked into Walmart or Cabela's or some other firearm dealers, and I looked up on the wall where they were labeling their weapons, would there be a label on the wall for assault weapon?
Answer the question, Renfield.
I don't believe, Senator, and thank you for this question, that the firearms industry has used the term assault rifle in their marketing since there was a ban on it.
I've been in Walmart's and I've been in Cabela's, and I've seen that you can find sections for pistols.
Let me
or
reframe
handguns,
this
or for
another
shotguns,
very clear way.
Rifles, because those are actual kinds of firearms. I think our exchange here illustrates that there really is no such thing as an assault weapon.
And if you go back and watch it, by the way, he's very clear that he's comfortable with regulating rifles that Americans currently have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. People say they don't want to round you. Yes, they do. They want to round up your guns. They want you to register, and if you don't, they will come in and take your guns. Who will do it? Other men with guns.
I just like that he looks like Beavis and Butthead as one guy.
You morph them together.
Right.
I love how he's like, and thank you for that question. I'm like, he just harpooned you. And you're like, thank you, sir. May I please have another? I want you in charge of gun policy.
Can you please tell us what constitutes an assault weapon? Because a lot of the rules of the assault weapons ban were aesthetic. For example, a collapsible stock versus a firm, in other words, a non-collapsing butt, or you would have to, you said butt.
I think we all know it's gun where you
Dang it, Bobby.
Yes. Right this way.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you just eat a bug? Yeah. With a raspberry.
Does anyone smell a virgin blood?
Yeah.
Go out at night into cornfields. You can find him going.
Yeah. What was that guy in Ghostbusters 2? Like that was helping Count Vigo? I can't,
Yeah, Renfield. The guy was Renfield.
He said,
He
I
played
didn't know his
Renfield
name.
in a movie.
Renfield,
Yes. Yeah. All right. So look, David Chipman. Just to give you a quick brief on him. 25 years as a special agent in the ATF, and he currently works as a senior policy advisor at Giffords, a research organization, obviously that promotes gun control.
Yeah.
And for being anti-gun, it's funny. The name David Chipman. I think we were talking about this. It rung a bell. Reminds me of Mark David Chipman, the chipmunk who shot John Lennon. When you think about it. So he was a case agent for the ATF. He was a case agent for the ATF in the Waco Branch Davidian trial.
Best Photoshop I've ever
He was also a case agent during Ruby Ridge. The hits keep coming with this guy's resume.
Yeah.
And he was also working for the ATF during Obama's Fast and Furious scandal. That's honestly remarkable. He managed to be involved with every ATF scandal.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That'd be like if Swalwell
actually.
were banging a Chinese spy on the Capitol steps on January 6th while interfering with an election.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
Basically.
Hey, they have guns in Waco. What should we do? Get the guy who knows nothing about them.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And shoot the dog. That's what I hear works well.
Every time.
That always helps.
You mean the guy with the hump? Well, he has a brace. He's corrected it now. We don't want to identify him, but yes, the man with the hump who eats.
He says
bugs.
he won't come out in sunlight.
Says he knows scandals well. He's been in all of them.
By the way, everyone put the garlic away.
He will not eat spaghetti.
So, doesn't matter. The good thing is, look, people are flawed, but we have fail-safes.
Yeah.
And former Vice President Joe Biden, of course, made it very clear that he does not want to take your AR-14s.
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that. It's a viral video like the other ones that came out that are simply a lie. He just clarified it. Wait. Take the AR-14s.
Oh, lovely.
And let's keep telling there's a lot of guys want in.
Former Vice Leader of the Free World, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Well, at least
AR-14.
AR stands for assault rifle, though, Stephen. It's right in the name.
Yeah.
You know what I hate? A guy in a suit and a hard hat. And he's the only one siding with Biden.
Yeah.
A
He's
hard
trying to make
hat
sure that he
suit.
hits all demographics.
Yeah. Do you hear
Even
the
worse when
staffer?
Trudeau does it in
Yeah.
blackface.
The staffer comes in. Thank you for your time. Okay, we got to move on. We got to go.
Keep it moving now.
Let's go.
No, I want to talk about AR-14 some more. Come on. That's the thing. You want to go back? I didn't do push-ups.
Vote for him. If you ask him any question what are we doing? That throws him even slightly, he'll act violent.
Yeah, it just gets really angry.
It's very, very
What's going on?
pissed. Very
Really
quickly.
easily irritated, like Wilford Brimley without insulin.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins and the grandfather. Hold on, they're talking about this right now really quickly on CNN. You guys don't need, I don't know if this really matters so much. Vaccination interest increased after CDC's new mask guidance. Oh, good. Okay,
yeah.
great.
No,
Lou Diamond
it was the other that I
Phillips.
third about Biden giving them the 90-day deadline.
90
days, I wanna know.
Well, then just come in and
90
let me know.
days.
It's okay. Unless there's something really important on CNN, and there never is. You can subscribe to the podcast. Of course, everyone who's watching here on Rumble. We don't know when we'll be back on YouTube, but iTunes. Sorry, not iTunes. It's Apple, Android,
Yeah.
Spotify. It's a good way for us to stay in touch with you. You can always just listen to audio. And I know you want to watch a video, so then tune into Mug Club.
Makes sense.
And my question for you is you guys can I am curious as to at what point Americans have said enough when it comes to the kowtowing to China. I really am. When do you think we've crossed that line? When do you think there's undue influence over our constitutional republic? I don't know if there's coming back from this until someone takes a serious stand. We made so much headway with China under Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And now it's just,
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
that man gets it.
It's it.
And so
He knows.
Love it.
Let me so now while we're talking about this, right, it seems like it may have originated from Wuhan. The virus.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it may have, but the way they've been framing this, you touched on this yesterday, but it's so much worse than you even touched on.
Oh, really?
The mental gymnastics that are having to be done. We have a clip from The View in a little bit because it's everything that's wrong with media. I mean, The View, not the people, should die a slow, painful death.
The show.
Yes, the show.
Yes.
I want. to watch the show suffer.
It
But
is.
the Washington Post,
show.
now they're saying it's suddenly credible.
Well, you'll
The
suffer
Wuhan
watching.
theory. And this is how they frame it, though, because they have to acknowledge. And by the way, how much do you want to bet when Dr. Fauci is saying, we're not 100% sure? It means they're pretty confident that it came from a lab.
Exactly.
So they can
Dang
say,
it.
we just said we didn't know, kind of like Jesse Ventura. I'm just asking for the facts. I don't know. Was George W. Bush outside of Tower 7 with an Acme plunger? I'm just asking questions.
I'm off the grid. Watch my TV show.
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Available in the App Store.
Off the grid.
I talk about topics that matter, fluoride in your tap, and the Kardashians' fake asses. So this is in Washington Post. Some Republicans pushed the idea early on that the Wuhan lab, rather than a natural transmission from animals, humans were at fault. Among them was former President Donald Trump, who often used inflammatory language to describe the virus's origins in China. Oh, I see them couching it a little bit. It gets worse.
Yeah.
But that notion was dismissed by Democrats and many scientists who viewed the focus on the lab as part of a larger attack on China that fueled an increase in hate crimes against Asian Americans. Hold up, wait, hold on a second. I thought you said that science was incorruptible by politics.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be making decisions on investigations and scientific merits because 85% of all physical assault crimes in the Bay Area occur from Black Americans against Asian Americans. They shouldn't allow that to halt science, but wait, there's more. There was so much inaccurate information flowing from the White House that many viewed this as just another thing that was not true and a way for the White House to divert attention from a fledgling COVID response, said Chris Meekins, a former health and... Okay, look, I need to get some new conspiracy theories because I'm running out.
Did you hear?
They've all become true.
They just use the circular logic.
They took my hobby.
Well, now you don't have anything to do. It's over. It's done. They basically said many people believe that this is just conspiracy theories to set up. I'm like, no,
Why?
you said that.
Yeah.
I wonder
the person
why.
writing the article's paper said that, so you're quoting
Right.
your own paper.
This is the circular logic. Well, people didn't take it as credible because they believe that Donald Trump was saying this to spread anti-Asian hatred because we've said that he uses this to spread anti-Asian hatred.
Yeah.
So we're not going to cover it.
Do you know what Donald Trump said? He said this virus comes from China.
Wuhan.
Well, exactly, right? He wasn't using inflammatory language right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then they started pushing back, and he's like, no, China. Because that's where it comes from.
Didn't help that he said,
China.
"He's so sorry."
That was a little over the line.
It was a little over the top.
He said that they went pee-pee in our Coke.
Yes. In my Diet Coke.
Oh, no.
Well, he wanted to start the travel, I don't even want to say it was a travel ban. Just shut down travel from China briefly. He was called xenophobic. Had they allowed him to do that, it would have completely changed the course of this thing.
Well, and also he was called xenophobic because at that point, the World Health Organization was saying, no, there's no need to do that. It doesn't travel. There's no human-to-human contact.
No
transmission.
evidence.
So let's,
Why are they
we'll just do
taking
this.
temperatures on a plane?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that we see on Google Earth? Is that no, that's 4 crematoriums. Well, that's odd.
It's weird.
Strange.
There's nothing to see here. So
I don't know assault rifles, but I know crematorium.
they don't work on me. So
His house is clean.
let's go to, and we'll just do a watch and react. It's a longer clip, but I feel like you guys need to see all of this from The View because there's an entire panel of people and none of them just speak honestly and go like,
Yeah.
that's one for you, Donald Trump. No, just come on. At
got
one
it
point,
wrong.
can you just say, all right, take the L? So let's watch this on The View, and we'll just react in real time.
because this pandemic hit, in the way that it hit, that everybody had an idea of where it came from, but nobody knew for sure, and no one was letting the science roll out to find out. Do you think that might be a reason
He was investigating them.
had so many different theories?
We knew.
I do. I think that's partially it. I think also there was some. There were people that had raised concerns early on, a couple years before, saying that
Who are these people?
the safety precautions in this particular lab weren't always followed. And when that theory came out that it could have come from a lab, it came out under the former administration. And I think the messenger matters. I think during that time when that theory started to be told, it was buried in an administration and a former president who often kind of troped in kind of racist terms.
I love how she has to read her papers, but kind of racist
the message
Well, she doesn't
that
look
could have been
very
actually
bright.
reasonable, but no one was going to hear it because it came from
She's like, I'm just
under
here
Trump's
for the
administration,
Patrick
and
Swayze
the
ghost
media at that
sex.
time was used to what he doled out, and they were going to push back on that. I think more investigation is needed, but I think there's whether the World Health Organization is the
Just
one
had
to
a
do it
predator
is
cough.
debatable because again, they seem to have some partnerships or China has undue influence on them, and I don't quite understand that. And I think that we need
let us explain.
collaborative international committee. Economies have been toppled. Over 3 million people have died. We need people from all over the globe to come together and get in there because China has not been transparent about this.
Yeah, it's almost like that's exactly what people have been saying
Is
for over a
it
year.
fair to
Watch this.
criticize Fauci for not
shit.
knowing the exact answer when everyone wanted it?
No, I mean, this anti-science crowd on the right with Trump has been criticizing Fauci from the Giddy app as if he's some kind of oracle of Delphi instead of a scientist.
What?
You know?
What cosmic bunny hole did I jump into? You obviously acted like he was an oracle. Donald Trump was the one who said we need to investigate this. I believe it leaked from a lab in China, and Fauci said no, and he said good enough for me, and you moved on. In what world are you allowed to accuse Donald Trump of being anti-science because he believed and wanted to investigate into what you now are acknowledging is likely true? By the way, do you know what this means? If you're just talking about the scientific process, okay? Donald Trump said, listen, I think they're not being transparent. I think it may have come from we need to investigate that. And Fauci said, nope, it's settled. There's no way. That means that Donald Trump was a better scientist. He used the scientific process more effectively than Fauci. Look, Fauci, it's called forming a hypothesis.
And it means, though, that a scientist told him that.
Right.
Trump didn't just guess out of thin air that it came from a lab.
No, they had
He could have.
at the beginning.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Could have, but
Then he's like, oh, these seem to be emanating from Wuhan, China. Okay, well, is there
Trump
anything
is
there that
still
would
winning.
cause this?
It's so hilarious. He's winning
Can
outside
you
of
fast
office.
forward the clip just to the Sunny, because then when we go to Sunny, was it not Sunny Liston? Sunny Hostin?
we go to Sunny Liston.
We go to Sunny Liston, who's really pissed. And she
Then we go to
just
Sunny
looks,
Black. It's just Michael Madsen.
She just looks like a deer in the headlights. So this whole conversation, they're all sitting there trying to go, well, it's just the messenger matters, and we should have known better, but who could have known? Everyone in this room. So they keep on going. Look, this is everything that's wrong with media, and then we'll talk about how these people, meaning people who run these companies, you look, they're part of these multi-conglomerate corporations and multi-international corporate conglomerate, whatever. The point is, insert all the buzzwords here, and they get to force out independent content creators to make sure that this is the kind of content you're forced to watch, like Scarface with his friend in the shower. Let's go to Sunny.
Criticized. What's the takeaway for you here?
Yeah. Well, I think it will be highly politicized. Because as Joy just referenced, you know, the prior administration bungled, you know, the handling of the pandemic.
Really?
There's just no question about it. The prior administration hid a lot of information from United States citizens.
Like the fact that it could be transmitted from human to human?
Just bungled, you know, any vaccine.
We understand
rollout.
that you like the word bungled,
they
Sonny.
didn't follow the Obamas.
What is she talking about? You did. Your show did.
He hampered scientists from sharing information.
No.
He was trafficking in, you know, saying things like, you know, you could swallow bleach and
shut up.
cure this.
You are fake
so
news.
I think that it will be highly politicized.
All right, let's turn this off. So here's the thing. They go, this is their justification. They go, well, look, you know, we obviously didn't believe the possibility that it could have come, because we believe that the Chinese government is beyond reproach. And we didn't believe it because you're talking about a president who did not do the things we lied about, like said, drink bleach and praise white neo-Nazis. So, of course, we couldn't give it validity. And because we are scientists, we blindly trust Fauci, who, by the way, most likely committed perjury in saying that there was no funding for the Wuhan lab and gain-of-function testing.
Yeah, he's going to have to walk that back. By the way, this is why we defended Donald Trump when we did not want to defend him. There were times where he said stuff that we didn't agree with, but then the media jumped far beyond that, and we're like, no, he didn't actually say that.
Yeah.
This is why it's dangerous to say that the leader of the free world, which was Donald Trump at the time, is always lying, is always a racist, is always doing something to promote hate from one group to another, because then you won't even listen when the facts line up with reality.
She just said in there that the administration didn't have a plan, didn't roll out vaccines.
All wrong.
Okay, well, let me get to that. Remember Operation Warp Speed? The first vial was Pfizer within 6 months.
Speed.
Yeah, it was within 6 months. And by the way, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Eric Swalwell, who was in the process of banging Chinese spies, said that they would not take the vaccine because it would be rushed too quickly. They had 13.5 million people who were vaccinated. This is before, of course, Donald Trump left office. As of December 31st, 2020, the federal government already had a contract to buy at least 800 million vaccine doses to be delivered by July 31st, 2021. Look, if you actually believe that Joe Biden moved along the vaccines and Joe Biden was the man who cut red tape and regulations so that you could get a vaccine more quickly, you should probably work for The View.
Yeah, you should also be really, really worried because that means they made a vaccine in like 8 days.
Yeah.
There's already millions of people being vaccinated. He's like, in my first 100 days, we're going to get to 1 million people a day. Joe, they're already at that.
Done.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it like that. Let's keep it like that for just a little while to see if we screw it up. Nope, we're not screwed up. Let's go to 2 million a day.
That's like when the bill comes in at Chili's and someone else leaves the tip because they've been waiting for 19 minutes to see if Bernie's going to pick it up or not. He's like, put my name on there.
Trump said 100 million in 100 days, and Bernie came in and went 1 million a day for 100 days. And everyone was like, I like that better.
Yeah.
It's like, you're all so stupid.
And he's also like, we can create a vaccine by, I don't know, about November, right before the election, October maybe, and he was off by, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Something
And they said, no way.
Crazy.
They said, no way, and we wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Yep, there's no way. Like Trump made the vaccine.
In his lab.
He's in there like beakers.
Yeah, he's
Coke.
All I need is some saline solution, a couple Tinker Toys, and that Nosferatu guy, okay? He's useful.
Just hydrochloric and dumped on a Big Mac.
Oh, by the way, let's go back to this, just because this is something we've always talked about the white supremacists, the claim that find people on both sides, which is one lie that's just so easy to debunk because you just extend it by 10 seconds. This is something people just feel, they feel totally comfortable repeating again, because it's not that they lie. It's that there is no accountability. It's the issue like I brought up with that Mr. Vaccine singer guy.
Yeah.
You're like, no one there around him thought maybe one of us should speak up. It's the same issue here. It's that they feel so comfortable lying because they know that no one is going to hold them accountable. And 3 companies who are in control of all information will do their bidding on social media and do the bidding of the World Health Organization. So let's go to this clip right now. Did Donald Trump tell people to drink bleach, as they just said? All right, here's the clip they're talking about.
So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
That's a thing.
I think you said
it is.
They use UV and they use UV light for disinfecting.
Supposing you brought the light
and they use
inside the
infrared
body,
light
which
for
you can
healing
do
wounds.
either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that
By the way, right now, you can get a nebulizer with a prescription. You can get a prescription hydrogen peroxide nebulizing solution to inhale because it knocks out things like the flu.
Interesting to check that, so that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
Wait. Did you say drink fish tank cleaner?
I think he said give your husband fish tank cleaner.
Yes, I think that's what he said.
This segment brought to you by Clorox.
I believe what he said was, you can figure out how to inject something into the body that could kill it right away.
Right.
That to me sounds like drink bleach.
And it was all questions.
Only if you're crazy, Dave.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Look, are we going to say that he was... No, he's not a doctor.
No.
And he's trying. His job is up there to articulate something. Well, you guys are carrying the water for the World Health Organization. Think about this. Before he even gets to possible solutions, which you refuted and you were wrong about, like hydroxychloroquine, by the way, he had to get through you guys saying there is no human-to-human transmission. Why do you want to have a ban on travel? No human-to-human transmission. You guys were arguing about that.
Yeah.
It must be exhausting to be president if you're not a far leftist. I can't imagine anyone who would want to do that job.
No, not at all. He took so much flack. He said, we're going to have doctors work on this. There's something that kills the virus.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's something like that medically we can create that will go inside the body and have that same kind of effectiveness. I don't know, like a vaccine, which we did create.
Right.
So I think he was right.
But if there's no human to transmission, what are we talking about?
Masks and lockdowns.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
Well, it wouldn't exist as a virus.
Well, you know, the good thing is now we're allowed to speak out against the World Health Organization on Facebook. Still not on YouTube.
Right.
Well, the View lady, she said, and the WHO, there's like some ties, I think. I don't really know. And it's like, oh, come on, you know it.
What do you mean by ties? They're Chinese finger trapped to the communist government, but with their peens.
Oh, no.
It's a Chinese peen trap.
Buttigieg. Again.
By the way, follow us.
Reiterate that the last president was a racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me collect my check and pass. Go. Follow me on Instagram. We're Lowder with Crowder. You can follow us there. We have some content that goes up. And look, the best way you can tune into the show, it's a live show, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, so that way you don't need to worry about notifications, about subscriptions, whether we're on YouTube. It's always live on Mug Club, and we hopefully will be live on Rumble once they get this feature worked out, and we'll take your chat a little bit later. Oh, I didn't even say it. We have Rudy Giuliani on the show.
Oh, yeah, you did. By the way, that's a nice shirt there, Steve.
Oh, yeah, it's available. Yeah,
got
Crowder
some
Shop.
really cool shirts there.
Only 2 genders.
There are only 2 genders.
I mean, sure, I don't believe it, but I'll wear it.
You don't have to believe
Damn you,
it.
Dave.
The check's cash just the same.
I'm old-fashioned.
Yeah.
I believe it.
There's 3.
But I believe
there's male, female, and...
Yeah.
But I don't think that we need to, fragment that into 54.
No.
72.
No, you're thinking about virgins. Virgins in heaven. Yeah.
That I'm going to get after,
After this.
But we don't, well, let's not talk about it because they don't know yet.
I didn't say they would be women.
They just show up, you're like, shit.
I bet them some ugly bitches. Of course nobody bangs.
It's just going to be Mr. Vaccine. Welcome to heaven.
Yeah.
All right, look, so there are 5, let me go through 5 examples here of China infiltrating and dictating American culture, because we just talked about John Cena the other day.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, wonderful guy. But this professor back in December, Jiang Shun Sheng, you're going to say I got the name wrong? Fine. Get him to pronounce Crowder. So this was a while ago, the media action. I remember it being removed from platforms, not because of what he said, but because conservatives happened to be sharing it.
Yeah.
Where he talked about China having an enormous influence in the United States, and also talking about how they will have much more influence in the United States with the Biden administration. So this is a Chinese professor talking about it back in December.
对美国，它的内政外交有非常强的影响力，有过一次软性违约，所以双方有矛盾啊。当然，这个细节我就不多说了，时间可能已经来不及了，是吧？但现在呢，现在我们看到拜登上台了。拜登的儿子对特朗普说：“你在全球有什么
？”The Chinese audience laughed.
谁帮他建的基金公司啊？明白吗？这个都有买卖啊。
For people who are listening to audio, when you hear that, ha 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 ha, because they're doing so at gunpoint, I think, he just said we couldn't fix Trump, but now that Biden is elected, and they all laugh.
Yeah, said, oh, now that Biden's
not a
elected.
soundbite.
Yeah,
not a soundbite.
And his facial expression was like,
and the entire room was wearing masks.
Yeah, well,
and you could hear an audible laugh.
Audible laugh. And then a choke. Yeah. So, by the way, remember, while we're talking about this just politically, Dianne Feinstein and, of course, Eric Swalwell had ties to Chinese spies. Eric Swalwell was fornicating with them.
Banging one.
Deep ties.
But it's not just limited to politics. And I think this is important because a lot of people don't know when they're being lied to.
Yeah.
They don't know when they're being led by the nose as it relates to China. And so what they try and do is they try and say, well, this is actually, you're trying to create more anti-Asian sentiment. No, we're actually not. The best thing you can do for the Chinese people, let alone all of the other Asians, by the way, is to make sure that there is no respect for and continually mock the communist Chinese government. You cannot be kind to the communist Chinese government. You cannot appease the Chinese communist government and claim that you care about the Chinese people.
Right.
You have to pick one. Let's be clear. I think that if you choose the government who runs their people over with tanks and puts their Muslims in indentured servitude, basically slave labor camps, and then kills them, I think that you probably care less about, well, you would say Asians, but in this case, Chinese. Yeah. I would just say Chinese. We're so used to say Asians because, you know, it used to be where you used to say everyone was Chinese.
Yeah.
Which, you know, was wrong, but come on. So John Cena yesterday, we covered, he was apologizing to China simply for acknowledging Taiwan as a country. Hey, here's a question of the day, by the way. If I would, that's all I would ask every single politician right now on the left. If I were a reporter, I'd say, hey, quick question. Is Taiwan a country?
Yeah, just checking.
That's it. And just let it ride. And if they do the doublespeak, go, oh, yeah, follow up. Is Taiwan a country? If someone can't answer, of course, and we stand with them, they don't deserve your vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Just carry the flag around. Can you tell me what flag this is?
Yeah.
That's Taiwan's flag.
Just really quickly, and I understand you can get into geopolitical and the history, but they are a sovereign state, and certainly we should support that. We absolutely should support that. Okay, so anyway, not John Cena. He apologized for having the gall to insinuate accidentally that Taiwan was a country. If you missed it, here's his little Mandarin apology.
What a bitch.
我有一个错误，我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。我很抱歉对我的错误，对不起，我很抱歉。你必须了解，我很爱。
Keep in mind, this is for the Chinese government, not the people, because they threatened to punish him and pull his movie. That's important to note. Also, by the way, all of this forced him to change his WWE nickname to he's now called The Natural. So that's good. Yeah, he just wants to make sure.
All natural.
All natural.
And keep in mind, there are a handful of... So I've talked about big tech, and that is the big issue, obviously, of the day. The information online is controlled by really, let's say 5 companies. Although really it's not social media, Amazon, but Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Okay, so when we're talking about social media, it's really 3. It's Alphabet, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Now, those 3 companies run nearly all of the information. They determine what you can and can't see. Legacy media is effectively 5 conglomerates. You've got NBC Universal, right, which is owned by Comcast. You've got Disney. You've got Viacom. And Disney is Disney ABC. I don't know. They're about four companies.
The Walt Disney Company owns Disney and ESPN and ABC.
Right. So it's about 5 companies. And by the way, all of them have relationships with the 3 companies online who determine what you can and cannot see. That's why you watch this and you get an autoplay Seth Meyers video if you're on YouTube. So Fast and the Furious movies, just for the record, they're distributed by NBC Universal Comcast. Okay. Let's just, and by the way, you guys can subscribe to this podcast. We're not in bed with any of those guys.
No, not
So then let's go to another example culturally. The NBA, the ESPN.
Can I just comment on John?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just trying to cycle through
know.
this before Giuliani gets.
John Cena basically just said, I want my movie to succeed so badly in your country that I'm willing to overlook the fact that my words might actually help you subjugate, invade, and destroy an entire country.
Yeah.
I am sorry that I said that these people have a right to exist. Please go see my movie. Can you imagine that? Like LeBron James tweets out stuff saying you're next about 200, let's say 250 to 300 people being shot by cops a year. Let's just say that that's the number. That's what LeBron James is willing to stand on the line for. An entire nation of people that just want to exist.
Right.
And you're selling
LeBron James would do the same exact thing, though.
I don't have I don't have these polls in front of me, but if you look at I was just reading about this the other Crowder, but I'm sure you guys can find this. The Taiwanese people, if you look at them, majority of them identify as ethnically Chinese, but they identify as part of a separate state. And a majority of them, when they talk about their biggest concerns with some kind of invasion from China, is whether the United States would step in and help protect them. A lot of them don't feel confident in that. Can you imagine a Biden administration intercepting some kind of a warship from China? Come on, that's not going to happen.
Well, I think it is important to note that a lot of people do get shot by cops, like what he stands up for, and people that is important, but it is not as important that we all see Fast and the Furious 13.
Very. No, but I mean,
if you're,
and I agree, right, Dave? You can be for both things. I'm not saying that one isn't.
We should be mostly for Fast and the Furious.
Yes. If you're worried about people
or
being
Sean
able to
Hobbs,
live, right? If you're worried about people being oppressed, you should not, on the one hand, say that these 300 people are worth me sacrificing anything that I have for, and that these people over here, I won't even let somebody say something negative about because the NBA says I can't. If you're going to use your platform for the greatest good, isn't that the greater good? And it's not like the pitch came to him. It's not like it's a hypothetical situation.
I think you're mixing metaphors.
LeBron
he's a basketball player.
No, I understand.
I just can't believe you have a serious retort to what I said. I was just trying to say the
way to take that puck and run with it, Gerald.
No, I agree with you.
I think you're absolutely right about both things. I was just trying to call Fast and the Furious a piece of shit.
Mission accomplished, Dave. Mission accomplished.
You're much smarter. You won the debate before I opened my mouth.
Oh no, I wasn't disagreeing. I know. I hate LeBron James.
No.
I love,
and not just him. Every NBA player.
Well, let me get to the NBA. So in 2019, they were barred, ESPN and the NBA, from even talking about the Hong Kong protests. Do I have this name right? Is it Chuck Salaturo?
I don't know.
I thought you're the sports guy. He's the senior news director of ESPN, and a memo was actually sent out mandating any discussion. Of Daryl Morey, that he had to avoid mentioning China, Hong Kong. That was a guy who worked for them, who tweeted something out and then had to delete it right away. Again, this is just acknowledging the existence of the struggle of people in Hong Kong. As a reminder, Houston Rockets, by the way, their general manager, Daryl Morey. I'm not a sports guy, so I just want to make sure I get these names right. Morey. All the sources are available at louderwithcarter.com.
Morey.
He got all kinds of controversy. He tweeted out, "Stand for freedom, fight for Hong Kong." Of course, I believe that was removed, and he was read the Riot Act. And this, of course, caused numerous Chinese companies to withdraw support.
Absolutely. And then people in the stands that held up signs that said, in the United States of America, people in the stands who held up signs that said Free Hong Kong were removed from the arenas.
And again, Disney owns ESPN. We're talking about, so all of these things, we're talking about really 3 to 5 companies. 3 to 5 companies who control it. These memos are all coming from the top down from 3 to 5 companies. And then there are 3 companies who control what those 3 to 5 companies get to deliver to you. Think about this for a second. You could count the amount of people who call the final shots on everything that you read or hear on both hands. You could count probably between 6 and 9 CEOs and maybe some vice presidents. You could put Zuckerberg, you could put Wojcicki on there, whatever, I forget the guy's name, the garage who doesn't run YouTube, but the Google. You could put Dorsey on there. You could put whoever has replaced Walt Disney's corpse, frozen corpse at Disney.
I don't know where they put his brain. They put it in someone.
I have no idea. But really, 6 to 9 people
and
control all of it.
Historically, when you sacrifice standing up for what is right for money. Do you know what happened in World War II? Germany, the reason that we didn't go into Germany, probably two reasons. One is we were neutral, and two, we didn't want to go in first because they owed us a ton of money.
Right. They
We
were in a
wanted to
horrible
get paid
depression.
back. That was it. That's the same thing that's happening in China. We've got so much business interest there that we're not willing to take a stand for people's right to
Well,
exist.
so this was an individual tweeting something out right about Hong Kong and got in trouble. Then the entire NBA, really the organization, got behind. They posted two different statements reacting to Maury's tweet. One in English and one in Chinese. Because they're bilingual propagandists.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
The Chinese statement was posted on Weibo and said the NBA was extremely disappointed by the, quote, inappropriate comment and said that Maury's view, quote, severely hurt the feelings of Chinese fans. The English version, though, a little bit different, given by the NBA spokesperson Mike Bass, said, "We recognize that the views expressed by Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey have deeply offended many of our friends and fans in China, which is regrettable." It never used the words extremely disappointed or inappropriate when we're talking about. It's just the versions aren't the same.
Yeah.
The versions are not the same, and I don't think there's anything regrettable about saying, "Hey, stop killing protesters."
Yeah, honor your agreements. You said Hong Kong could be free and have their own government if they wanted.
And a lot of people, they missed actually Mike Bass's statement, but C-SPAN did a live stream of him issuing the apology.
Okay, I will say, I feel like this is your deck. This is your deck. It is. Is it really your deck?
No surprise there.
It's always.
Just on a loop on C-SPAN.
Buttigieg just trying to get on that show.
I've been
I
trying.
yield, Dick, I yield my time.
TV credit.
Here's the TV credit.
That's a good thing. Dildo, reclaiming my time, honorable judge. The Hollywood self-censorship too for China, by the way, before it got politicized, where if Donald Trump would say, "No, we need to keep our eye on China," so everyone says, "No," they say the opposite because Donald Trump says one thing. I think we can go back to 2015. Even Colbert was talking about this.
But it makes sense that The Martian would include a pro-Chinese plot point because the Chinese government only allows a small number of foreign movies into China each year. And after America, China is the #2 biggest movie-going country in the world. So it's only natural for American movie makers to try to please the cultural gatekeepers of the Chinese government. They've been doing it for years. In the disaster movie 2012, humanity is saved because the Chinese government had the foresight to build life-saving arcs. And in Gravity, Sandra Bullock survives by getting herself to the Chinese space station.
Yeah, but now he doesn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, he's all good.
And just to be clear, that
Before
actually,
he was bought and paid for, he's really funny.
he did have some.
Yeah,
he really was.
That
funny.
show was funny.
He, by the way, this actually changed in 2020. China surpassed the United States.
Did they?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, as a top film market. So let's go through some of these other changes, by the way, that might have to have been made because those seem benign.
Yeah.
But again, there are actual sort of political components to this, which Americans may not realize. You don't realize that the people who are making these films now for the biggest market, they're making again. These have to be the values that they have to appease. And the communist Chinese government are antithetical to American values. You can't be pro-America and pro-communist Chinese government. It cannot be done. Yeah. We're not all going to be holding hands saying we are the world. It will not happen. You can't do it. This is one thing, this is where I disagree with John Oliver, where he just acts like all violence is the same. No. I think we had a violent war to free the slaves in this country, right? I think you guys ran over your citizens with tanks. I don't think that the two are moral. They're not. You can't equate them morally. Yeah. So let's go.
China owns a good chunk of Hollywood too. I don't know if people realize that, but they're the ones giving the money.
Yeah,
and a good chunk of America too.
Yeah.
2019. So let's go. Top Gun had to remove a Taiwan flag from Tom Cruise's jacket.
Yep.
Though really, the Taiwanese people are probably pretty happy about that. Yeah, they probably just they played it quite like, oh no, you take off our flag from Tom Cruise.
Oh, we love Tom Cruise.
He do big stunt. It's cool.
How dare you?
Was there such a straight guy?
Yeah.
We're all Scientology.
And he always meet the height requirement.
Yeah.
he can ride the ride. He can go on ride because he's this tall. Get the broomstick. Yeah.
We relate.
He is a round Asian.
Yeah. Pretty much. Though he run, he doesn't run like one. No. Stop running, Tom Cruise.
We get it.
Produced by Viacom, of course. Top Gun. So again, 3 companies produced by Viacom. They go, get rid of the Taiwan flag.
Oh my gosh.
Again, that's just a change from the 80s. Let's just be really clear. So in 2011, MGM Studios had to digitally edit flags and logos of the villains to replace the Chinese flag with the North Korean flag in its remake of Red Dawn, which not only was incredibly unrealistic, it also made the movie stupid. Again, NBC Universal Comcast. still within the framework of 3 companies. We've already gone through billions of dollars in production costs and revenue, starting to get the picture. This is, by the way, this is back. Oh, this is also back when North Korea was testing missiles under Obama too, letting them off.
But that was over Japan. They didn't really.
They were still more afraid of offending China. Than North Korea.
Still.
I'm trying to see what. Oh, this is one too. This is something that a lot of people don't realize, and to go back to the LeBron issue. So first off, racism isn't just black and white. We're sort of conditioned to believe that here in the United States, right? But if you look at the racism that occurs between Asian people, for example, the Chinese and the Japanese, you look at what happened, really just in the internment camps, you look at World War II, and you look at the imperialists, and they believed that they were a superior race. Now, certainly, me and Tokunawan, for example, look much more different, or me and take your pick of any, me and LeBron look significantly more, well, a quarter black, come on, let's be honest, it's not the eyeball test here.
Not so much.
Not with you and I. Like, who, that Mexican? No, the quarter black, I don't have to get his little wallet out.
Dang it!
You ain't black. We look racially different, but we have a lot more in common than the Chinese and Japanese people.
Yeah.
Who, to the untrained eye, look more similar. Not saying they look exactly alike, but they certainly look more alike than me and LeBron James. Racism isn't just a black or white thing, and not only do they turn a blind eye to that, as it relates to China, American liberals turn a blind eye to the still anti-black racism that you see in China. So you shouldn't let them get away with that. But how about you just care about the anti-black racism coming from the Chinese government?
Well, they think they're inferior, and they do it so much that they won't even put them on posters.
Yes, well, exactly. They minimize black people in movie audience posters in China all the time.
Leave that up a second. Look
That's
at
real.
That.
Yeah, that's real.
They took a Star Wars character out, and Black Panther. What are you?
They made him smaller. They made him much smaller. They made him way
Star Wars characters.
Okay,
name's Lando Calrissian.
And how are you going to handle Black Panther? What are you going to do?
But no, in China it was just called Panther.
Can you imagine getting to the Black Panther movie and you're like, what?
He takes off his mask.
It's about a civilization of people in Africa. What did you do? Scrub it and make them Asians?
Right. It's all
Martin Freeman film.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though. When I went to Tokyo Disney as a kid a long time ago, they have the Indiana Jones ride like they do in Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they still have Harrison Ford's voice in the Indiana Jones ride, but it's a Japanese animatronic. Like he's got Asian eyes. It's really funny. Yeah.
But they have Harrison Ford's voice.
It's Harrison Ford's voice, but it's like a Japanese, like Asian-eyed animatronic.
Well,
wow.
It's better than the other way around, having a Japanese voice and Harrison Ford. That kind of devil.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It's still weird. I still love It's a Small World, though, because you go through and you're like, at least there's a little bit of racism in this country.
That's happy.
And by the way, so that's just the ones that people know about.
Good racism.
Our researchers actually found some pretty rough examples, like the poster change for the Academy Award-winning film, Glory. Yeah, they changed that one.
Yeah, that one was.
Which is kind of egregious how they snuck past it. And by the way,
egregious.
It's just they didn't meet the deadline, so they got lazy with Rush Hour when you see what they actually did. Yeah, it's just. And,
oh, geez.
And I think the most blatant one was obviously Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail. That's not the same film.
That's not at all.
Yeah, that is not.
Know what I mean, Lord?
Hallelujah, Vern.
Hallelujah, Vern.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, I bet you the Chinese love Ernest.
I bet you they do.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, just like the French love Jerry Lewis. I bet you the Chinese just love Ernest. Like, finally some guy on this thing.
I love Ernest.
I think it's funny to see what does well over there versus here. It's like the Fast and Furious thing is the perfect example of that. But I'm sure there's like millions of like Nick Cage. Everybody's second act, once they can't act anymore, is to go to China and produce films that suck. And it's just like, oh, this is fantastic work.
I want to find the video of Nicolas Cage speaking Mandarin. It's got to exist.
It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
The guy.
Him on roast duck. Donde está?
Oh no, that's Spanish, Nick. That's Spanish. Yeah.
By the way, smash that Rumble button for those of you who are watching on Rumble. If you're still here.
They're still here.
Hey.
Now we go from these companies to big tech, who again, keep in mind, when we had the Vox Apocalypse, Vox is what? NBC, right? Who have co-produced shows with both Netflix and YouTube. And of course, they're favored in the algorithms because you know that their content sucks. And you can see the view counts being inflated and the interaction rates being low. So you've got these production companies who spend billions of dollars in advertising and influence with these new media companies, right? So legacy media and big tech. So 2019, Apple pulled the police tracking app HKMap.live used by the Hong Kong protesters from the App Store after facing criticism from China.